I met a Gypsy.
That week with my brother and my dad and my wife and my best mates and like spending that week doing world bets, it's like someone could have put $1 billion in my bank account and it wouldn't have made the experience any better. Like literally, and I could have, like maybe I could have bought a couple extra tires and shit, but I already had enough money in my bank account to do what I needed to do. And it's like, man, if you're in a moment in your life where if somebody, you know, especially in the world that we live in now where like it just takes a lot to fucking survive, you know, but if someone could put $1 billion in your bank account and for a week it couldn't even improve your life, like you're doing something cool. And it like really made me appreciate the moment when you can like wrap it in that context. And I mean, I bet it's the same thing at Rampage. Like you can only use picks and shovels and you've got your boys to do it with. Someone could deposit $1 billion in your bank account that day, that week, and you wouldn't even spend it until that event was done. And it's like, man, you're living a great life if that's the case.
Dude, we actually went over this. It was pretty funny. Mitch Ropalato, so Kyle and I dug, and we usually do almost the entire same line and veer off here and there. So we're usually two teams on the majority of the line. That's cool. So Mitch Ropalato is one of the best bike riders of all time, is there digging for Kyle every year. Won't take the money. Kyle bought him some nice shoes or something one time. That's all he would take. So he's not there for the money. He's there for the experience. And then as Luke Whitlock and my diggers were Henry Wilkins and Damon Iwanaga, who's also another amazing rider. But Mitch was like, what if you found $1 million right now picking through this wall, you know? And I was like, wouldn't change anything. He's like, you wouldn't go home tomorrow? I was like, hell no. And I was like, might as well make it $1.1 million because, you know, we get, the prize is $70K and we get, you know, probably 100K day after bonuses and stuff. So I was like, might as well make it $1.1 million, dude. Nowhere I'd rather be. Never did it for the money. We get paid peanuts anyway. So might as well. Yeah, it literally doesn't change a thing. So it's kind of funny you mentioned that. And, you know, we're even talking about, you know, less money, but it's, we do it for the right reasons and try to capitalize on as much money as you can along the way. But on that note, all my sponsors are like, dude, running Michelin tires. I don't want to run anything else. Yeah. Oakley goggles. I've been with them for over 20 years. I started getting on flow when I was 15 racing. Charlie helmets, of course, and, you know, 510 makes the best shoes, and like it's Da Vinci bikes, and, you know, DD signature my bars, and then I never found the right grips that I wanted, so then I made Census. That's why. So like everything that I have is literally what I'd want to be riding anyway. Yeah. So we try to take as much money as we can along the way, but also you want to be on the coolest shit and the best shit and the stuff that you are like gonna put your life on the line with and feel comfortable with. So I've been fortunate enough to make a career out of it as long as I have, and but yeah, never did it for the money.
Yeah, no, and I think it's cool, like if you can have that context just in everyday life, like if you think, because I'm definitely guilty of it, you know, like it's just it's pressure, like you got a family, you got 2 kids, like there's all the stuff that like life is heavy all the time, you know, and
especially when you're the provider and you're like, I'm like, you didn't sleep well? Oh, you ever woke up in the middle of the night worrying about taxes or something?
Yeah. There's just a level of built-in anxiety over like just having to provide for your family. But yeah, I don't know, like it just, when Ian said that, it just fully, like it really just changed. I feel like it just changed me that day. I was like, man, there's a lot of times in my life where you could just put that, you know, deposit all the money, fix all the problems, and it's like, I would not leave this moment. It might have not even made it better, even in the sense of if you had a giant toy hauler and it might have actually kind of, you know, made it worse in some. It would have slightly less soul and it wouldn't contribute to the moment as you had it, you know. Yeah, no, and that's exactly right. Like, and you know, you think like, well, you'd go crazy, you'd do this, and I'm like, it just wouldn't make it better. Yeah. Like, this is it. This is so good now. And it's like, to just be able to, I don't know, just like have that much perspective in a moment. It was just fucking rad. And like, even before you got here, I was like watching the videos that we made from it. And it's like, I'll always have, you know, those weeks and those memories. And it's like, it's not that week. It's every week you race with your dad growing up. And it's like, though every time you go to Rampage, like we are so lucky to do what we do, like even just with friends on the weekend. Like, and Anthony cartwheeled yesterday, fucked himself up, and he was like, I don't regret a damn thing.
Yeah,
Like we were driving back from the airport at midnight, I'm smoked, bro, and he's like, I don't regret any of it, man. I'd do it all again. Like I'd get up in the morning and I'd take the crash, and he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to wipe my ass for a little bit, but like fuck it, like I wouldn't change it.
It's cool stories, man. I think that there's something about just knowing that this is where you're supposed to be, you know, and like and realizing that and reveling in the fact that this is where I'm supposed to be, and then doing it with confidence and conviction is probably the greatest feeling that we can have as humans, you know. And that even kind of transcends into friendship, and like these are the people I'm supposed to be hanging out with. These are my loved ones. These are the people I'm supposed to be loving and be loved by. So to do all of these things and be able to include them in such a cool sport to where they're at the track with you, I mean, that's where you're supposed to be. And to be able to do it like with conviction is like, that's like the greatest part of my life, like 100%.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons, like for me personally, is to say like, I'm a fan of you. It's not the mountain biking. It's not the winning Rampage. Like that's shit's dope. And it's like, that's the platform. Like that's your thing that you do. But it's like when I look at your life and I see your wife and your 2 kids, and they're like a part of like what you've got going on, and then the fact that you've had this 20-year career, and it's like you won Rampage, I think 2010 was like
2010, yeah, so it's been 13 freaking years,
and then but 13 years later, like you do it again, and it's like there's something that you've figured out in your life, and I'm sure there's a lot of things that you've overcome to be that guy, like to be the dude that can go 13 years between drinks in like the gnarliest deal that you can do on a mountain bike. And it's like, but your family's there, and it's like, I've met your family that's like very happy people, you know. It's like that you can see that you've really got that figured out, and it's like, that's what makes me a fan, you know. That
just warms the heart, man, because that's I always strive to be just a good person first and foremost, and all these components and kind of ingredients in to make people and champions up to who they are is really what's enticing and intriguing to find out what's under the helmet of Tomac, you know. And even though he doesn't, you know, tell too much, and he's not as open to the public, you still get a feeling that he's a good person, and you want to root for that dude. Like I like that, and I also appreciate that he isn't filming himself constantly, you know. So just to be like able to dissect the ingredients to why someone is who they are, and how to like myself to be able to persevere through that. And every day is a new set of challenges, and having kids and you know, day-to-day life with family, and negotiating sponsors, and working your way through people thinking you're too old and all this. So that is probably the most meaningful thing to me personally as well, because I've, you know, long after people told me I should hang it up, even before 2010, I had numerous close friends, photographers, and all these people that were, you know, involved in my life and career. It's like, dude, you've had a lot of injuries, man. You got a good eye for photography, or you should hang it up. You should, you know, like man to man, knowing the consequences of where that conversation and proposition kind of puts them, but still felt, I guess, kind of the audacity to question my career. And that was before 2010, you know. I'd won Crankworks in 2006 was my first real big win. But then out, like to deal with people like that, and then keep going. Like I could have had a cool career until that, you know, my kids would see that I did this for a living when I was younger. But everything that I've done, it just keeps getting better and better and better and better. And I think that's the core mentality of just overcoming adversity, like just to be confident. And it's like, kids been watching The Mandalorian lately, but like, this is the way, like this is where you're supposed to be. This is what, do it with confidence and keep it going. And it just keeps getting better. Like long after numerous waves of everyone, you're too old, you should hang it up, or too many injuries, to just keep it going is, it makes me feel good about myself. It makes me feel good about and confident about what I'm showing my kids and how I'm raising them. Yeah. And don't let anyone tell you can't do it, but also don't let yourself tell you can't do it as well.
We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, gypsytales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.